think more than them learning something new, I was relearning how about communication and how to make it accessible because they'd already told me why they wanted yoga, to clear the mind, to become less emotional, to deal with the stuff that they were dealing, to get out of pain. And so I knew the reasons why they were doing it. I just needed to find a way of trying to communicate. My background is in Kriya Yoga, an unbroken lineage, but I didn't want to. That's not important to them. What's important to them is, as a communicator, as a teacher, how can I make it accessible? How can I make it meaningful in their lives? And I hope that I've done that over the years, not taking myself so seriously. That's very important. And
Welcome, Katherine and Winge here. I sat down with Camella Nair and had a chat about all things Aqua Yoga in preparation for our Aqua Kriya Yoga teacher training online, April 26th through 27th. In this portion of the talk, we talk about the history of Aqua Kriya Yoga. Camella Nair is the founder of Aqua Kriya Yoga. She is a yoga therapist and certified A-Tree practitioner. Her resume is extensive. If you'd like to learn more about her, please go to aquakriyayoga.com. Thanks for listening.
What year did you start teaching Aqua Yoga? What year was, I mean, is that too?
I don't know specifically what year because I'm not
Yeah.
very good at those kind of dates,
Uh-huh.
but it would have been probably nearly 25 years ago now. And it wasn't really my idea to do it. I was teaching a lot of land yoga classes at various establishments, YMCAs, mostly YMCAs, mostly, Jewish community centers, things like that. I wasn't really thin and pretty enough to work in a yoga studio, so very often they would kind of, not really want me. But I had a good student base, and at the time there was I don't know what her role was called, but she was in charge of inclusion for these diverse populations, people in wheelchairs, people with arthritis and so forth. And she was a great advocate of yoga, but she was hearing a lot from the students that they wanted a more mindful practice. I think they already had like meditation classes and so forth. But she said, "Is it possible to to do aqua yoga?" And I sort of went, "Well, yeah, let's not shout about it too much because it's my personal practice." And I don't know, how people are going to think about, and I don't know about teaching an aqua yoga class. And she threw me right in at the deep end, literally. And the first class I probably had about 30 people, probably of which I reached somewhere between 5 and 10 in terms of what I was trying to communicate, because I was still stuck in the land teaching mode, and you
Yeah.
want everyone to know that you know a lot and so forth. I didn't teach Sanskrit, but of course a lot of it was you speak about it in terms of communication. The way that you project your voice is different. That's why you've got to keep it simple.
Mm.
And you can't go off on that narrative about, the little monk, the two monks that crossed the, all those stories that we do in a land yoga class to enrich the program, and their experience. We can't do it in the same way. We have to be a little bit more um, succinct. And this is where we learn, of course, from people who are currently teaching aquatic programs, because they've got it to a T. They know how to keep the verbiage, clear and concise, because like you mentioned on the video that you did, if they wear hearing aids, they very often don't wear them in the water, or if they wear, glasses, they're not going to wear them. And we need to be mindful of that. We may have to use the pool in a different way, where, if you've got a big class and you're using the wall for stability and so forth, they might be facing different directions. How are you going to engage everybody in that kind of a setting? So I can still remember how frightened I was teaching that first class of a huge class of people who were used to, let's face it, jumping up and down, listening to music and having a chat at the same time. So I had to rethink how I was going to refine my skills as a teacher to communicate to the people who were interested. And from that group, there were certain people that, thank goodness, stayed, wanted to come back and learn a bit more. But I think more than them learning something new, I was relearning how about communication and how to make it accessible, because they'd already told me why they wanted yoga, to clear the mind, to become less emotional, to deal with the stuff that they were dealing, to get out of pain. And so I knew the reasons why they were doing it. I just needed to find a way of trying to communicate. My background is in Kriya Yoga, an unbroken lineage, but I didn't want to. That's not important to them. What's important to them is, as a communicator, as a teacher, how can I make it accessible? How can I make it meaningful in their lives? And I hope that I've done that over the years, not taking myself so seriously. That's very important. And there's a lot of yoga teachers that I've come across in my decades of teaching, who have got a lot of self-invested interest. We've seen them a lot. We've seen a lot of the downfall of a lot of teachers, a lot of them men, of course, abusing their power and influence. And so yeah, I don't take myself seriously. And that was one of the greatest gifts of advice that Goswami Kriyananda gave us, I think, as teachers. Don't take yourself so seriously, but take all of your students very seriously. He was great, he was very down to earth teacher, and I was blessed to have him in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like offering yoga in the water really asks of us teachers to just strip down to the essence of what
Yeah,
it is. It's like this intersection of who's in front of me today, like what do they need? Um, what is the environment of the pool? What would it even allow
right.
me to do? The characteristics of and the unique characteristics of the pool
Hmm.
and the sound environment, um, and then what what feels important today to share, like
Yes.
physically, and that's to say, not to say that you have to let go of some sort of inner intention, but as a yoga teacher, it's been such a journey for me and a
Mm,
blessing to by offering aqua yoga. um, I've had to routinely be like, what is most important right here, and like leave out all the rest of this stuff, and like
yeah,
how can I
yeah,
best just convey the essence of what this is in the most succinct, skillful way, in
yeah,
service of who's in front of me in this moment, and
yeah. We don't need to show our treasure chest, and I think a lot of a lot of yoga teachers want to do that, but not just, there are a lot of brilliant yoga teachers out there, of course, but it's about us helping them to see their beauty and their treasure.
Hmm.